Vasilisa and Baba Yaga are the central concept of today's process video. Welcome back to the channel, Stellar People. This is Trey. And yes, Vasilisa Baba Yaga's story is the process video, a continuation of the process video from last week, where I would like to get a diptych, right? This is the diptych, which is two paintings where each painting can be its own thing, but together they make a one bigger story. So on the right hand side, we have Baba Yaga, her house with the chicken legs. In the far background she has allegedly 3 sons, which she says. All right, the morning sun, the noonday sun, and the evening sun, I guess afternoon. I'm going to make my own twist to the story, but that is on the right hand side. Right? She's in chase pursuing Vasilisa, the beautiful, who is running away from her house where she was held captive, or she was being made to work for the witch. So she's returning home. She's running through the forest with the skull torch, which was once one of her fence posts of Baba Yaga, with the fiery red eyes. But she's using it as a torch to light her path. So we have the noonday sun behind her, and what I'm putting in is the moon. Mr. Midnight, the Moon King, will be riding a stag to her left. And that is the diptych that we are going for. So let's take a look at some reference that I have of the same story. Now we're going to do this in the style of Russian Lacquer. Russian Lacquer is an art form, relatively new/old, but it's where they would paint lacquer, these tiny boxes, and they would paint myths, folk tales on these boxes, and they're gorgeous to behold. But this is the story of Vasilisa Baba Yaga. I don't see Baba Yaga in here. Maybe this is Vasilisa. But anyway, she has this tells the story. We have the 3 suns, right? The evening sun, the noonday sun, the morning sun, right? And this story is being told. The chicken-legged house in the background. Maybe this is Baba Yaga. And this is Vasilisa. But this has some of the stylization look at that, the way the earth or rocks are being done. There are animals, there are trees, bushes. But let's take another look at another one. This is a better quality version. But she along her path, she sees 3 riders. There's the house. I'm guessing morning day, noonday sun, and he even has the sun rays coming off. And this is the evening sun. They always picture him on a dark horse, a black horse. So I was like, just change it to moonlight, because there's a moon right here. So that's what we'll be doing. But she also has her little doll that her mother gave to her before she died. And she said, once you feed it, it will help you through your darkest moment. The doll came to life after being fed, told her what to do to escape from the witch. But I also look at the stylization of all this. The clouds, we've got the sun and moon. We've got the rock terrain. And there's a particular way of the stylization that I like. The figure, the manner of dress, the horses, all stylized in a way that I would like to replicate. Let's take another one. Same story. Baba Yaga, Vasilisa, I believe. The skull torch, right? The eyes shining off. And I think this is the noonday sun. So we don't see the other two, but it's a particular moment in time. But again, the stylization of, right? There's a face here. There's rock terrain. There's trees of various sorts. I'm guessing this is her house behind her, or she's coming out of her house, her hut. And the noonday sun is right here. And the stylization of the horse is what I'm particularly looking at. But all of that is what we're going to be shooting for, this stylization for an eventual watercolor. But first, we have to get the image down. So that was the reference files. This is what I have currently. This was the initial idea, but I did various tries at it, and this is the red pencil version. And then this, I think, is the OG, the original. Just the concept where she's running, a writer's running, riding beside her or past her. 1, 2, the 3 riders, Baba Yaga, her chicken-legged house, and the skull fence. Being 1 piece, 2 piece. So what do we have for this week? I was doing some roughs of Baba Yaga, and I was just doing these small little pen drawings. And I like this face. I was looking at the stylization for witches in lacquer, Russian lacquer, and they're very simplified. I like this one though. This is like, I was thinking of like, I have this list of Baba Yaga: the corrupted goddess, storm clouds covering the sun, haunting, dangerous, burning red eyes, a witch, all powerful, female magic, ancient, secretive, honest, a teacher, a mother, a lover, unloved, sane and insane, a children eater, which, if you think about Hansel and Gretel as a story, that's one thing. Teacher of children, the lost, survivor, cleanliness, because she usually has children or whoever's in her house clean her house. King of the frost, a roaming beast, wild hare, no hair, a bear, and a crow. And I think I did this one with a crow motif where she has feathers. And then this one where a bear is like draped over her. But I like the weathered face. Like, she's said to be very old, like an ancient goddess. So I like the idea that she's, being out in nature. She's very old, very weathered. Maybe has these dark obsidian eyes, just very tiny, but I kind of like that. But we'll see if we can make that work. But also I like the overall, she has a mortar and pestle, right? A mortar is what you grind medicines in, and she's seated in one, and she has both I think it's a broom attached to it that is supposed to cover her tracks, like sweeping away the tracks that she leaves. The imagery for Baba Yaga is very, very unique. But let's continue. Her chicken-legged house. So I was, doing just the silhouette of the house. And I like that. It's just odd. It's bizarre that a house could have chicken legs. So then I thought maybe it's the silhouette that makes it look like a chicken, but it's not a chicken. So when I first tried out these ideas of just a house, and then a chicken, and then chicken, the house with chicken legs, but the chickens only have 2 legs. So I was trying to think about, okay, so maybe the house has 2 legs, like a chicken, and the silhouette just makes it look like a chicken. So I like this one right here, but maybe without the head. And if we can modify it just a bit, just some minor tweaks, shorten this tail, have that as the roof, right? Maybe another extra story on 2 legs, and then it has to sit so you can enter the house. But we'll keep working on that. But I also made some notes for this. Baba Yaga's house has legs of a chicken. House is a chicken, a headless chicken, angled, asymmetrical, sharp and dangerous, spooky, magical, odd, fantastic, the bone fence, skulls, and gothic. But those are just some ideas on Baba Yaga's house. Let's continue. So I did this drawing of Baba Yaga in the style of Russian Lacquer. Well, as close as I could without, while putting a spin of my own on it. And it's good, but I think it needs something. I don't know. She just kind of looks like an old woman. That's why I like the face. Right? I like this face. And I'm thinking maybe she has a lot of hair, like she's never cut her hair. And I've always been thinking about how women have power in their hair. And in some, cultures and religions, you have to cover your hair because there's power in it. And for a woman to be bald is, it's a very taxing thing for them. Well, as a man, if you're bald, you're just bald. It's something that happens. You deal with it. But how women, hair, and power. But that's just an idea. So yeah, Baba Yaga. This is like a first pass. We'll do more passes as we go, but that's an idea. And as for her sons, right? These are 2 of her sons. The morning sun, which I will do as a young man, and then the noonday sun, who is maybe an adult man. And if I was going to do 3, the third one would be old, right? As like a passage of time. 1, 2, 3. Young, prime, old. Almost like the triple goddess of the maiden, the woman, and the old crone. So something to that effect. But I have, let's see. So the three writers, the young writer of the morning sun, the writer of the noonday sun, who is often depicted in Russian Lacquer as being all red. So white, red, and then black. But I think I'm going to do Mr. Midnight, the Moon King, as the third writer. But I also, of course, took some notes. I always make notes just to get out some ideas just off the top of my head before I go into drawing things. So the early sun, mid-sun, night, white, red, black, magic colors, old, young, hidden, exposed, owned by Baba Yaga, owned by all, eyes in the sky, watchers, fast, timeless, all evil, all good, 2 evil, 1 good, related, ethnic, women, helpful, caring, and good nature. That's just ideas I just spilled out on a page, of what this could be. And I usually always start with this before I do any drawings. Just get some ideas out and then draw after that. So the three writers. Now we come to Miss Vasilisa, the beautiful. So here she tried to do again a simplified style in Russian lacquer. I'd like to improve on the dress. So I did these little drawings of traditional dresses from Slavic regions, Russia and all. Like, I was looking at those. She also has a doll, and I thought maybe the doll could wear more traditional dress, and her more simplified, but still going through it. But she has the skull torch with the illuminating eyes, and then this is the Mr. Midnight on a stag, a black stag, running through past her as she runs through the forest. And so I did also the stag stylized much like Russian lacquer. I'm still working out how the legs are going to move. And over here, I was doing Mr. Midnight in that style of Russian lacquer. And he is, he's a character I've done before. Psychopomp, a shepherd of the dead. So he, in my mind, he shepherds dead people off into the next realm. And it is said that what Vasilisa has can represent, well, it's myths and legends. So they can represent a lot of things, but in certain things I've read, like she is Baba Yaga is like winter and she is like spring. She is beautiful where Baba Yaga is old, young, old, and like how those two things can, be opposites of each other. A woman in her prime, an old woman in the witch. Knowledge versus, the youthful. Yeah, all of that. So I'm still playing with like what all of this can represent. So again, Mr. Midnight, he is the moon, and he'll have like this moon symbol behind his head as he's riding by her, representing a passage of time again. In the two, right, in the morning, noon, night, right? So we're looking at a passage of time. And then either, if you just see one, you can understand a story, sort of, by themselves, but together they make a full picture. And so I took all of this and then I made a comp. So I have the whole diptych with the elements plugged in for how I want it more or less situated for now. I haven't worked out the full thing, but we have in the far background, I don't have the writer yet, of the youthful morning sun. Where are you at? So I don't have the morning sun yet in this, but he would be back here on his horse, a white horse. We have the chicken house. I still have to, get the design of that, with the bone fence, Baba Yaga in pursuit of Vasilisa, the noonday sun in the back. So this would be whitish blue, transitioning to a red, transitioning to a deep purple. That's the colors I can see in my mind right now as we move from morning to evening, morning to evening. Yeah. And she's running. She's got the skull torch and it's illuminating. And we can see Mr. Midnight, the Moon King, on his stag, riding past her. And he looks towards her. Right? And that is the story. These are the elements just on their own. And I often work piecemeal like that, where if I have the background and I try to, work on the characters separately, because it can go through many iterations that I don't want to draw the background over and over again just to get my idea of this chicken house, which I think is going to be fun to play with, but there's going to be some iterations on this. Some of them hop out fully formed, and some of them, they take a lot of work. But yes, let's turn that up 90%. So yeah, the background moving from morning to evening, and it's a forest, mystical forest. So we got, the chicken house. It's like, how would people not find a chicken house? She has a magical forest. She lives in a misty maze forest, magical place. And we have this large tree in the center bisecting the two parts of the diptych. Some water, I'm thinking. Like there's a little brook. All right. Some mini falls. This little brook coming down, water, trees. She's on an old path running, and Mr. Midnight's running past her. So yeah. But yes, that is the story. And that's what I have so far. So I hope that was, following the process is interesting. I like doing these videos because I like showing, the progression of art, how it goes from simple to complex, unrefined to refined. But anyways, thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. Take care, and see you next week.